Decoding Numbers 29, the logistics of the seventh month. All right, let's dive straight into this explainer. Today, we're going to look at this ancient scripture, but not just as a religious text. We're actually going to look at it as a staggering, highly structured spreadsheet of ancient supply chain management. It's honestly fascinating.
First things first, to really grasp the massive scale of this text, we need to map out the timeline of the seventh month. This month is absolutely packed with holy convocations. We've got distinct events kicking off on the first day, the 10th day, and then a massive 7-day feast that begins on the 15th day, which is finally capped off by a solemn assembly on the 22nd. This whole structure builds to an incredible peak of activity.
Now, what's truly fascinating here is how the first and 10th days establish an exact identical baseline. If you look at the first day, the requirement is 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs without blemish, and 1 goat for a sin offering. Fast forward to the 10th day, and the resource requirement is completely identical. It establishes this really clear, mathematical baseline for the entire month's operations.
But hold on, it wasn't just the animals. We also have to remember that every single burnt offering was accompanied by a specific, perfectly ratioed meat offering of flour and oil. This ensured strict standardization across the board. And the ratios? They are heavily systematized. You needed 3/10 deals for a bullock, 2 for a ram, and 1 for each lamb. It's literally an algorithm. Every single time an animal is added to the ledger, a highly specific volume of flour and oil has to be calculated and sourced to match it perfectly.
The 15th day, the 7-day feast escalation. Okay, so that baseline we just established, it's about to be completely blown out of the water, testing the absolute limits of their supply reserves.
This brilliantly illustrates the hidden mathematical pattern in the text. During this 7-day stretch, the rams are doubled to 2 and the lambs are doubled to 14, and they stay completely static for the whole week. But the bullocks? They undergo this precise daily countdown. 13 on the first day, then 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, and finally 7. It is an exact descending arithmetic sequence.
So the really crucial point here is the sheer logistical marvel required to pull this off. When you add up that descending sequence, you arrive at exactly 70 bullocks over just 1 week. I mean, just imagine the coordination needed to perfectly source, inspect, and supply exactly 70 bullocks, all without a single spot or blemish, plus 14 rams, 98 lambs, and the precisely calculated ratios of flour and oil for every single one of them. The margin for error was literally 0.
And then, after 7 days of massive descending numbers, the solemn assembly on the 8th day sharply de-escalates. 1 bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs, and 1 goat. It drops perfectly back down to the exact baseline requirements we saw at the very beginning of the month. The whole system scales up astronomically, runs a countdown, and seamlessly resets to default.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you looking at these staggering numbers and wondering just how incredibly sophisticated ancient supply chains and logistical arithmetic truly had to be. We tend to think of precise spreadsheets and complex scaling algorithms as modern inventions, right? But the careful arithmetic woven into Numbers 29 proves that rigorous mathematical resource management has been around for millennia. It really makes you wonder what other ancient texts might be hiding masterclasses in logistics right in plain sight.